this video is intended to introduce you to the Dorian mode, and I'm going to be using the example of A Dorian. Now, the Dorian mode is built up on the second note of the major scale. So let me give you a brief explanation of that. If I take the G major scale, so that's the G major scale. If I take that G major scale, but I start instead on the second note, I'm still playing the G major scale but starting on the second note, the A. So I'm starting on the A and going up 8 notes. Then that's the A Dorian mode. So most of the time, I guess, the first position we'd learn to play this would be with the A on the bass note from the 5th fret. So I'll just show you slowly how to play this position, this box. That's the note that makes it Dorian. There it is again. So that's the Dorian mode. It differs from the natural minor in just one note. So natural minor has that note there, and instead we're sharpening that note to there. Then the second octave, whereas the natural minor would be there, we're sharpening that to there. So the second octave. It's in some regards easy to remember because we've got the same fingering on the top 2 strings, 1, 3, 4, if I number my fingers 1, 2, 3, 4. Second string, 1, 3, 4 again. Then we shift down 1 fret and effectively sort of got a 4, 2, 1 there, 4, 2, 1 there. A couple of notes on the 5th string. That's the Dorian mode across 2 frets. From that, what we call, I don't know, the sort of classic position that people would generally learn, the Dorian mode. So the flattened 5th works particularly with any minor scale. So to show you where that is, we always refer back to the major scale. So if I take the A major scale, number those notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's why we call that the 5th. And flatten that. We have this note here. Now I wouldn't play that note and sit on it just on its own. It won't sound particularly good. So for instance, if I just play this bit of a backing track. So you can see that sounds a bit dodgy. However, as a passing note, simply a note that you pass through on your way to another note, the flattened 5th works beautifully, particularly in blues and minor grooves. So I'm just give you an example using the flattened 5th. So there you have the sort of classic position of playing this. What about spreading out to the rest of the neck? Well, if you've really got it sussed and understand the concept that the notes of the A Dorian mode are actually exactly the same as the G major scale, then obviously you can play in the position of G major. Now if you've watched my video Which Chords Go Well Together, I've got Which Chords Go Well Together Part 1 and Part 2. Then from that you'll realise and understand what we mean by a harmonized major scale. So therefore we can play, even though this groove that I'm playing at the moment is in the key of A Dorian. As far as the positions of the notes go, you could play your G major box, you could play your B Phrygian box, or C Lydian, D Mixolydian, E natural minor, which is often the first minor scale that people really learn. The minor and major pentatonics are very possibly one of the most accessible ways to start moving around your neck a lot, because the minor and major pentatonics are often the first scales that people learn. A Dorian shares the same notes as G major, as I mentioned, so relating to the key of G major, we've got 3 minor and 3 major scales that all fit within there, in particular with the minor and major pentatonics. So as far as minor goes, we've obviously got the A, so minor pentatonic will work there, but also we've got the B, and we've got the E. And then you've got the major pentatonics, we've got G, and then we've got the C, and the D. So if you have a play around in A Dorian, but using the G major pentatonic, C major pentatonic and the D major pentatonic, and then also as far as the minor pentatonics go, try the A minor pentatonic, which is going to be the most comfortable because we're in the key of A minor, but also try the B minor pentatonic and the E minor pentatonic, and it'll kind of depend on your musical background and your musical upbringing as to which ones fit best for you, but certainly the notes of those scales will all work with this piece of music. The piece of music that I'm using with this tutorial is actually a section from one of my E-tracks that's called Pete's Groove. It's only 99p or $1.50 from my website. And what I've done is I've just taken a couple of bars, a few bars out of that piece of music and looped that and repeated it. If you want to play along with this, then go to my website and you'll find that this looped section of Pete's Groove is a free download, completely free, at www.robinmay.co.uk. So to recap, we've got the A Dorian mode that we're using here. Maybe the most obvious position to play it on your neck will be from the 5th fret. Don't forget the flattened 5th. But just use it as a passing note. Rather than using it as an end note on its own. We then have all the scales and modal positions that you'd associate with G major. So you can play in the position of G major, B Phrygian, C Lydian, D Mixolydian, E Aeolian and B Locrian. If you want to try any of those out, then those positions, the notes of those modes, are all the same notes as that of A Dorian, so that can help you move around your neck. So you can get the backing track for free on my website, and I hope that that's been useful to you. Please do also consider going and buying Pete's Groove, it's only 99p. Enjoy. Cheers.